Joked about having an affair at a party. Now my husband wants a divorce. I'm standing in Meredith's luxurious kitchen in her Hinsdale home, leaning against the marble island with a glass of Cabernet in my hand. It's our 10th wedding anniversary, and Damien and I decided to celebrate with friends instead of just the two of us. The party is in full swing around me. 30-something professionals laughing too loudly after their third drink, the playlist shifting from 90s nostalgia to current hits. I take another sip and watch my husband across the room. Damien is talking to Trevor, Meredith's husband, gesturing with his beer bottle as he explains something, probably about that startup he's been consulting for. At 38, he's still handsome, in that understated way, salt and pepper starting to appear at his temples, laugh lines deepening around his eyes. Not the type to turn heads when he walks into a room, but solid, dependable. I think, God, is this really what I signed up for? 10 years of predictable dinners and weekend routines? My own thoughts surprise me, the wine making me more critical than usual. Damien catches my eye across the room and smiles, raising his beer slightly. I return the gesture half-heartedly. Samira, my closest friend since college, sidles up next to me. "Happy anniversary, girl," she says, bumping her hip against mine. 10 years. How does it feel to be with the same man for a decade? I roll my eyes dramatically. Like I need a vacation, alone. Samira laughs. "Marissa, you're terrible." "I'm serious," I say, topping off my wine glass. "Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be with someone else, someone exciting." "Like who?" Samira's eyes widen, sensing gossip. That's when I see him. Alec, Trevor's younger brother, who just moved to Chicago, tall with dark features and a confidence that borders on arrogance. He's been flirting with me all night, subtle enough that others wouldn't notice, but obvious enough that I feel that long-forgotten flutter of attraction. "Like him," I whisper, nodding toward Alec. "God, can you imagine?" Samira follows my gaze. "Marissa, he's like 5 years younger than us." 4, I correct her, grinning. "And I bet he knows tricks in bed that Damien hasn't even heard of." We both burst into giggles, and I notice several heads turn our way. I don't care. The wine has made me bold, reckless. "Ladies," Alec approaches with a smirk. "What's so funny?" "Nothing," Samira says quickly, but I'm already leaning toward him. "Just talking about what might spice up my marriage," I say, my voice loud enough to carry. "Been thinking I need a younger man to remind me what I've been missing." Alec's eyebrows shoot up and he plays along. "Well, I'm available for consultations." "Might take you up on that," I reply, aware that the conversations around us have quieted. "Damien's great, but after 10 years, a girl needs some excitement." I'm laughing, but I notice the room has gotten strangely quiet. I look up to see Damien standing a few feet away, keys already in hand. His face is completely blank, but his eyes, I've never seen that look before. It's not anger, it's something worse. "Damien," I start, but he just shakes his head slightly. "I'm heading home," he says quietly. "Stay, enjoy your party." "Don't be ridiculous," I say, trying to laugh it off. "It was just a joke." He doesn't respond, just turns and walks toward the door. I notice Trevor giving him a sympathetic clap on the shoulder as he passes. I think he's being dramatic. He knows I didn't mean anything by it. "Wow, that was awkward," Samira whispers. "Maybe you should go after him?" "And validate this tantrum?" "No thanks," I say, but my voice wavers. "He'll get over it. He always does." The party resumes, but there's a weird energy now. I catch sympathetic glances thrown my way, and worse, a few judgmental ones. I drain my wine glass and grab another, determined to salvage the night. But 2 hours later, when I finally catch an Uber home, I'm feeling less confident. As the car pulls into our driveway in Oak Park, I notice all the lights are off. The house looks cold, unwelcoming. I fumble with my keys at the front door, rehearsing what I'll say. "It was a stupid joke. You know how I get when I drink too much. Why are you making such a big deal out of this?" When I finally manage to get inside, the house is quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. I kick off my heels in the entryway and head upstairs. "Damien?" I call out, my voice echoing in the stillness. Our bedroom door is closed. I push it open to find Damien lying on his side of the bed, still fully dressed, staring at the ceiling. "Hey," I say, trying to sound casual. "Sorry about earlier. I was just joking around." He doesn't look at me. "Were you?" "Of course." I sit on the edge of the bed. Come on, babe. You know I didn't mean anything by it. Do I? He finally turns to look at me, and his expression makes me flinch, because it sounded a lot like the truth wrapped in a joke. I let out an exasperated sigh. You're being ridiculous. It was just party talk. Party talk, he repeats. Publicly humiliating your husband on our anniversary is just party talk now? Humiliating? That's dramatic. I stand up and start removing my jewelry. If you're that insecure, this isn't about insecurity, Marissa, he interrupts, his voice sharp. This is about respect, or the complete lack of it. I turn to face him, anger bubbling up. Oh, please. Like you've never made a joke at my expense? Not like that. Never like that. He sits up, running a hand through his hair. Do you know what it feels like to stand there while your wife talks about cheating on you like it's funny? While everyone watches to see how you'll react? It wasn't, I start, but he cuts me off. And Alec? Really? You had to target him specifically? Damien stands now, pacing. You think I don't notice how you look at him? How eager you are to talk to him whenever we see him? I feel a flash of guilt because he's not entirely wrong. I have enjoyed Alec's attention more than I should, but I'm not about to admit that. You're overreacting, I say dismissively. I've had a long night. I'm going to bed. I brush past him to the bathroom, closing the door firmly behind me. I lean against the sink, staring at my reflection. My perfectly applied makeup is now smudged, my eyes glassy from alcohol. I think, he'll be over it by morning. He always forgives me. When I emerge from the bathroom, the bedroom is empty. I find Damien in the guest room, already under the covers, his back to the door. Seriously? I say. You're sleeping in here? Just for tonight, he says without turning around. I need some space. Fine, I snap, slamming the door behind me. Back in our bedroom, I slide under the covers alone, telling myself this will blow over. But as I drift off to sleep, an uncomfortable feeling settles in my stomach. Something about Damien's voice, his eyes, it was different this time. I'm sitting at our kitchen table the next morning, nursing the worst hangover I've had in years. The sunlight streaming through the windows is offensive, and each clink of my spoon against the coffee mug sounds like a gunshot. Damien enters the kitchen already dressed for work, though it's Saturday. He doesn't look at me as he pours coffee into his travel mug. Going somewhere? I ask, trying to sound casual. The office, he replies. I have some projects to catch up on. I think he's punishing me by leaving. Childish. Damien, I sigh, can we talk about last night like adults? He pauses, his back still to me. What is there to talk about? You made your feelings pretty clear. It was a joke, I snap, my head throbbing with the effort. Why are you being like this? He turns then, and I'm startled by how tired he looks, like he hasn't slept at all. That's the problem, Marissa. You don't even see it. See what? I throw my hands up in frustration. How would you feel if I joked about sleeping with someone else? If I humiliated you in front of our friends? If I made it clear that I find our marriage boring and unfulfilling? When he puts it like that, a small part of me understands, but I'm too proud, too defensive to acknowledge it. You're making a mountain out of a molehill, I say, crossing my arms. Everyone knew I was just kidding around. Damien shakes his head slowly. No, they didn't, and neither did I. He grabs his keys from the counter. I'll be back later. I need some time to think. About what? I ask, suddenly apprehensive. He hesitates at the door. About whether this is working anymore. The door closes behind him with a quiet click that somehow sounds more final than a slam would have. I sit in stunned silence, my coffee growing cold. I think he can't be serious over one stupid comment, but as I replay the previous night in my mind, I start to feel uneasy. The way everyone looked at me after Damien left, the awkward conversations that followed. Even Samira had seemed uncomfortable. I reach for my phone and text Samira. Damien's being ridiculous about last night. He actually said he's thinking about whether our marriage is working. Her response comes quickly. TBH, Marissa, you were pretty harsh. That Alec thing was uncomfortable for everyone. I stare at her message, feeling betrayed. Oh, come on, it was just a joke. You were laughing too. Before I realized how serious it was, she replies. Look, I love you, but if Chase said those things about me, I'd be devastated. I toss my phone aside, annoyed that even my best friend isn't taking my side. I spend the day alternating between anger and anxiety, checking my phone constantly for a message from Damien. By evening, when he still hasn't returned or called, I'm genuinely worried. I cave and call him, but it goes straight to voicemail. I leave what I think is a conciliatory message. Hey, it's me. Look, I'm sorry if what I said hurt your feelings. That wasn't my intention. Can we talk about this when you get home? This is getting ridiculous. As soon as I hang up, I realize my apology doesn't sound sincere at all. But I'm too stubborn to try again. Damien finally comes home around 9 p.m. I'm in the living room pretending to watch Netflix, though I've been checking the window every few minutes. Hey, I say cautiously as he sets his laptop bag down. Hey, he responds, his voice neutral. He looks composed, almost calm, which makes me nervous. Did you get my message? He nods. I did. And, I prompt when he doesn't continue. Damien sits in the armchair across from me, maintaining distance. Marissa, I've been thinking all day about us, about our marriage. Because of one joke, I interrupt, unable to help myself. Damien, come on. It's not just the joke, he says firmly. It's what it revealed. About how you see me, how you feel about our marriage. I start to protest, but he holds up a hand. Last night wasn't an isolated incident. It was just the clearest example of something that's been happening for years. You don't respect me. You take me for granted. You make it clear that I'm not enough for you. His words hit me like a physical blow. That's not true, isn't it? He leans forward. When was the last time you asked about my day and actually listened to the answer? When did you last show interest in my work? When have you ever defended me when your friends make their little boring husband comments? I open my mouth, then close it again, searching for examples but coming up empty. I've spent 10 years trying to be a good husband, he continues. I've supported your career changes, your impulse purchases, your mood swings. I've forgiven the jokes at my expense, the flirting with other men, the constant implication that I'm not exciting enough for you. I feel tears threatening. This isn't how this conversation was supposed to go. He was supposed to forgive me, like always. What are you saying? I ask, my voice small. I'm saying I'm done, he says quietly. I deserve better than this. I deserve someone who appreciates me, who doesn't need to put me down to feel good about herself. Are you? I swallow hard. Are you asking for a divorce? He nods slowly. I think that's best for both of us. Because of one stupid comment? My voice rises in disbelief. No, Marissa. Because of 10 years of comments. Because our entire marriage has been about you, your needs, your wants, your feelings, while mine don't even register. I stare at him, shocked by the conviction in his voice. This isn't the Damien I know, the one who always backs down, who apologizes even when I'm wrong, who lets things go to keep the peace. I think he's bluffing. He wouldn't actually leave me. You don't mean that, I say with forced confidence. You're upset, and I get it. I shouldn't have said what I said. But divorce? That's extreme. Is it? He asks simply. Because right now, I can't remember the last time being with you made me happy. That statement hangs in the air between us, devastating in its simplicity. For the first time, I feel real fear. I'll sleep in the guest room tonight, he says, standing. Tomorrow I'll look for a place to stay while we sort things out. As he walks away, I suddenly realize he's serious. This isn't a negotiation tactic or an empty threat. He's actually leaving me. Damien, wait, I call out, panic rising in my throat. We can fix this. We can go to counseling or something. He pauses in the doorway. I don't think there's anything to fix, Marissa. This is who you are, and I've finally accepted that I deserve better. The door closes behind him with quiet finality, leaving me alone with the realization that I may have destroyed my marriage with a single, thoughtless joke. I'm sitting in a booth at Cafe Moreno, a place Damien and I used to frequent before it became too predictable for my taste. The irony isn't lost on me. I stir my latte absently, waiting for Samira to arrive. It's been 3 weeks since Damien moved out, and reality is starting to sink in. I think he'll come back. He has to. This is just to teach me a lesson. But my confidence is wavering. Damien hasn't responded to any of my texts except with brief, business-like replies about practical matters. When I called crying at 2 a.m. last week, he didn't pick up. Samira slides into the booth across from me, looking uncomfortable. Hey, she says, ordering a coffee from the passing waitress. Hey, I reply, studying her face. What's with you? You look weird. She fidgets with her napkin. Nothing. Just, how are you holding up? Terrible, I admit. He's really going through with this, Samira. He's talking to lawyers. She nods, not meeting my eyes. Yeah, I heard. You heard? I sit up straighter. From who? Chase ran into him at the gym yesterday. And I lean forward eagerly. What did he say? Did he ask about me? Samira looks uncomfortable. Not exactly. Well, what then? I press. She sighs. Marissa, I don't think this is helpful. Tell me, I insist. Chase said he seems good, like really good. He's lost weight, got a new haircut. He was with a friend Chase didn't recognize. A friend? I repeat. Male or female? Samira hesitates. Female. But that doesn't mean... He's dating already? My voice rises enough that a couple at the next table glances over. It's been 3 weeks. I don't know if they were dating, Samira says quickly. Chase just said they were working out together and seemed friendly. I feel sick suddenly. The thought of Damien with someone else, someone who might appreciate him in ways I failed to, is unbearable. I need to talk to him, I say, reaching for my phone. This has gone far enough. Samira puts her hand over mine. Marissa, stop. Give him space. If there's any chance of saving your marriage, you pushing right now will kill it. What am I supposed to do? I ask, feeling tears well up. Just wait while he moves on with his life, while he finds someone else? Maybe focus on yourself, she suggests gently. Think about what Damien said, about not respecting him, taking him for granted. So you're on his side? I pull my hand away. I'm on your side, she says firmly. That's why I'm being honest. You haven't been a good wife, Marissa. You know that, right? Her bluntness stuns me. Wow. I'm sorry, but it's true, she continues. The way you talk about him, the way you dismiss his interests, the constant flirting with other guys to make him jealous, it's not healthy. I start to defend myself, but the words die in my throat. Because she's right. I do those things. I've always done those things. I think, have I really been that terrible? He deserves better, Samira says softly. And honestly, so do you. You've never seemed happy in your marriage. Maybe this is for the best. I love him, I whisper, surprising myself with the sincerity of it. Do you? She challenges. Or do you just hate the idea of him not loving you anymore? I don't have an answer for that. We finish our coffee in uncomfortable silence, and when we part ways, I sense a distance between us that wasn't there before. At home, I wander through rooms that suddenly feel too big, too empty. I find myself in Damien's closet, where a few shirts he left behind still hang. I take one down and hold it to my face, inhaling the lingering scent of his cologne. For the first time, I allow myself to really consider what life will be like without him. No more quiet Sunday mornings, reading the paper together. No more inside jokes that no one else gets. No more feeling his warmth beside me in bed at night. I sink down onto the floor, clutching his shirt, and finally let myself cry. Not the manipulative tears I've used to get my way in arguments, but genuine grief for what I've carelessly thrown away. That evening, my phone rings with an unknown number. I answer hopefully, thinking it might be Damien calling from a friend's phone. Hello, Mrs. Blackwood? An unfamiliar female voice asks. This is Helena Reyes from Brewer and Associates. I'm calling regarding your husband's divorce petition. The lawyer's words wash over me in a blur of legal terminology. Terms like equitable distribution and dissolution of marriage make it all feel terribly real. He's really doing this, I say numbly when she finishes. Yes, ma'am, she replies, her voice professionally sympathetic. Mr. Blackwood has made his intentions clear. Do you have representation? No, I admit. I didn't think it would come to this. I'd advise you to secure an attorney as soon as possible, she says. The initial hearing is scheduled for 3 weeks from now. After hanging up, I sit in stunned silence. This is happening. Damien is divorcing me. Our 10-year marriage is ending over a stupid joke at a party. Except it wasn't just the joke, was it? It was years of small cruelties, of taking him for granted, of making him feel inadequate. The joke was just the final straw. I pour myself a glass of wine and open Instagram, something I've been avoiding. The first post on my feed is from Trevor, a group photo from a barbecue yesterday. And there's Damien, smiling more genuinely than I've seen in years, standing next to a pretty woman with curly hair whom I don't recognize. I zoom in, studying her. She's not more attractive than me, but there's something about her, a warmth in her smile, the way she's looking at someone off camera with genuine interest. She looks kind. I throw my phone across the room, hearing it crack against the wall. Then I put my head in my hands and sob. I'm standing outside the nondescript brick building that houses Dr. Patricia Y's office, gathering my courage to go inside. It's been 6 weeks since Damien left, and I've finally acknowledged that I need help. Not to win him back. I'm starting to accept that ship has sailed, but to understand why I sabotaged the best thing in my life. I think, this is stupid. What's some stranger going to tell me that I don't already know? But I force myself to enter anyway, climbing the stairs to the second floor office. Dr. Wei is not what I expected. Younger than me, with stylish glasses and a direct gaze that makes me instantly uncomfortable. She gestures for me to sit on the couch across from her. "So, Marissa," she says after we've gone through the preliminaries, "what brings you here today?" "My husband left me," I say bluntly. "He's filing for divorce because I made a joke about having an affair." She nods, waiting for me to continue. "It was stupid," I add defensively. "I was drunk and this guy was flirting with me, and I don't know why I said it." "Do you think that's the only reason your husband left?" she asks, her tone neutral. I want to say yes, to place all the blame on that one moment, but Samira's words echo in my mind. "No," I admit. "Damien says I don't respect him, that I take him for granted." "And do you?" she probes. I don't know, maybe." I fidget with the edge of a throw pillow. "I love him. Sometimes I felt trapped, like I was missing out on something more exciting." "What would more exciting look like to you?" Dr. Y asks. I open my mouth to answer, then realize I don't know. Passionate fights and makeups, constant drama and uncertainty. The grass is greener fantasy I've been chasing doesn't have a clear picture. "I don't know," I confess. "Just different." "Different isn't always better," she observes. "What was good about your relationship with Damien?" The question catches me off guard. I've been so focused on what was missing that I haven't thought about what was there. "He's kind," I say slowly. "He remembers things, little things like exactly how I take my coffee or the name of my first grade teacher that I mentioned once. He's patient, loyal." As I speak, a lump forms in my throat. "He made me feel safe," I continue, my voice cracking. "Even when I was being completely awful, he never made me feel like he would leave, until he did." "It sounds like you're grieving," Dr. Weiss says gently. "Not just the loss of your marriage, but the image you had of Damien as someone who would never give up on you, no matter how poorly you treated him." Her words hit with painful accuracy. "I thought I could do anything, and he'd always forgive me." I admit, I took advantage of that. "Why do you think you did that?" she asks. The question hangs in the air between us. Why did I systematically undermine the person who loved me most? Why did I push away the stability I secretly craved? "I don't know," I whisper. "I really don't know." "That's what we're here to figure out," she says. "It won't be easy, and it won't happen in one session. But understanding why you self-sabotage is the first step toward change." As I leave her office an hour later, I feel emotionally wrung out, but also lighter somehow. For the first time since Damien left, I'm considering the possibility that this isn't just about getting him back. It's about figuring out why I was so unhappy in a situation that should have brought me joy. On the drive home, my phone rings through the car's Bluetooth. It's Damien's number. My heart leaps to my throat as I answer. "Hello?" I say, trying to keep my voice steady. "Marissa," he says, and just hearing his voice makes my eyes well up. "I need to stop by the house tomorrow to pick up some documents from the filing cabinet. Is around noon okay?" His tone is polite but distant, like he's speaking to a casual acquaintance rather than the woman he shared a bed with for a decade. "Yes," I manage. "That's fine. Damien, Thanks," he cuts me off. "I'll be quick. You don't need to be there if it's inconvenient." "No, I'll be there," I say quickly. "Actually, I'd like to talk to you if you have time." There's a pause. "I don't think that's a good idea, Marissa. Our lawyer should handle communication from now on." "Please," I say, hating the desperation in my voice. "Just 5 minutes. I'm seeing a therapist now. I'm trying to change." Another pause, longer this time. "I'm glad you're getting help," he finally says. "But it doesn't change anything between us." "I know," I say, even though the admission hurts. "I just want to apologize properly. You deserve that much." He sighs. "Fine, 5 minutes, but this doesn't change the divorce, Marissa." "I understand," I say, though hope flares despite his words. Thank you. After we hang up, I drive aimlessly, thinking about what I'll say tomorrow. How do you apologize for years of subtle cruelty? How do you make amends for systematically dismantling someone's self worth? I end up at Riverside Park, a place Damien and I used to walk on Sunday mornings. I sit on a bench overlooking the water, watching a family feed ducks nearby. The father lifts his young daughter to give her a better view, her delighted giggles carrying across the water. I think that could have been us. We talked about having kids next year. Another future lost to my carelessness. My phone buzzes with a text from Samira. Heard from Meredith that Damien's bringing Layla to the charity gala next weekend. Thought you should know. Layla? So that's her name, the woman from the barbecue photo. I should be angry, jealous, but instead, I just feel tired. Tired of the person I've been, the games I've played, the pain I've caused. For the first time, I hope Damien has found someone who makes him happy, someone who sees his value in ways I failed to. He deserves that much. I'm pacing in the living room of what used to be our home, straightening things that don't need straightening. It's 11:45 a.m., and Damien will be here soon. My hair is pulled back in a simple ponytail, my face bare of makeup, a deliberate choice to show him I'm not trying to manipulate him with my appearance. The doorbell rings at precisely noon. Damien was always punctual. I take a deep breath and open the door. He looks good, too good. He's lost weight, his jawline more defined, and he's wearing a blue button-down that brings out his eyes. His hair is shorter, styled differently. He looks like a new man, or rather like the man he was when we first met, before years of my subtle undermining eroded his confidence. Hi, I say, stepping back to let him in. Thanks for coming. I need those tax documents, he says, heading straight for the home office. Should only take a minute. I follow him, hovering in the doorway as he unlocks the filing cabinet. How have you been? I ask awkwardly. Fine, he says without looking up. The new place is working out well. That's good, I say, watching him flip through folders. Damien, I found it, he interrupts, pulling out a manila envelope. He finally turns to face me. You wanted to talk? I nod, leading him back to the living room. We sit on opposite ends of the couch, the distance between us, both physical and emotional. I've been seeing Dr. Wei, I start, a therapist, twice a week. He nods but says nothing. She's helping me understand why I treated you the way I did. I take a deep breath. I was insecure. I was afraid of being boring, of missing out. But instead of addressing that, I projected it onto you. I made you the boring one so I could be the exciting one. He watches me, his expression unreadable. I took you for granted. I continue. I assumed you'd always be there, so I pushed to see how far I could go. I didn't respect you or appreciate you. My voice breaks. And I am so sorry for that. Damien is quiet for a long moment. Thank you for saying that, he finally says. I appreciate it. I wait for more, but he just checks his watch. I should go. Wait, I say quickly. I know I don't deserve another chance. I know you're moving on. I've heard about Layla. His expression hardens slightly. Layla isn't your concern, Marissa. I know, I say hastily. I'm happy for you. Really, she seems nice. He looks skeptical. I mean it, I insist. You deserve someone who appreciates you, who builds you up instead of tearing you down. I just wanted you to know that I recognize that now, that I see what I threw away. Something in his face softens slightly. I hope therapy continues to help you, Marissa. Not for me, but for you, and for whoever comes next in your life. I don't want anyone else, I admit. I still love you. He sighs, standing up. Maybe you do, but love without respect isn't enough. I spent too many years feeling like I wasn't good enough for you. I won't go back to that. I nod, unable to speak past the lump in my throat. The lawyers will be in touch about the house, he says, moving toward the door. I think selling is the cleanest option. Okay, I whisper. At the door, he hesitates. For what it's worth, I hope you find what you're looking for, Marissa. I hope you find happiness. Then he's gone, walking down the path to his car without looking back. I watch from the window as he drives away, knowing with certainty that he won't be coming back. 3 months later, I'm standing in the empty living room of my former home. The real estate agent has just left, contract signed, the house sold faster than expected, another chapter closed. I'm seated on a single remaining chair when my phone buzzes with a text from Samira. You okay? Want company while you wait for the movers? I'm fine, I text back, just saying goodbye to the place. I look around at the bare walls, the spaces where furniture used to be. Tomorrow I'll move into my new apartment, smaller, but mine alone. A fresh start. Dr. Wei says I'm making progress. I'm learning to sit with my feelings instead of running from them or blaming others. I'm learning to recognize my patterns of behavior and the insecurities that drive them. I think I never thought I'd be starting over at 33, divorced, downsizing, building a new life from scratch. But there's something freeing about it too, the chance to become someone different, someone better. My phone pings with an email notification. It's from our No Damien's lawyer. The divorce is final. Just like that, 10 years of marriage reduced to a legal document and an email confirmation. I should be devastated, but instead, I feel a strange sense of peace. This ending was a long time coming, set in motion by years of my own actions. As I sit in the empty house, I remember Damien's words from our last real conversation. Love without respect isn't enough. He was right. I didn't respect him, or myself for that matter. I stand up, take one last look around, and walk out the front door. I don't look back as I lock it for the final time. In the car, I check my phone again. There's a new text from Samira. Meredith said Damien proposed to Layla last night. Thought you should hear it from me first. The news hits me like a physical blow. 6 months after our separation, and he's already proposing.